again, dear viewer. So we meet again. As I have mentioned in the previous video introducing the divine calendar, I said I was going to discuss with you harmonic frequency resonance. But first, we should touch on some concepts in numerology. It is stated that the 9 integers or wholes, the numbers 1 to 9, are the only real numbers, and all other numbers are just derivatives from the main 9. The number 0 acts as the container for these 9 numbers, therefore meaning that 0 is not empty, but represents the totality or origin of all other numbers. Now let me bring your attention to the significance of the number 2, which represents duality. All even numbers divisible by 2 are found by simply adding 2. We get 2, 4, 6, and 8. All prime numbers or numbers indivisible by 2 are also sequenced by simply adding 2. So we get 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. The number 2 represents a complete cycle or breath, where 1 is the inhale plus 1, the exhale equals 2. So, if you would like to measure growth through life in years, then we can understand that every 2 years is a complete cycle, in which 2 cycles amount to a leap year. 1 cycle plus 2 leaps give us a decade, and a decade can be seen as the time it takes to effect irreversible change upon the world in general, or just your personal life. Also, in numerology, in order to maintain consistent single-digit numbers, we just add together each number to arrive at its numerological equivalent. Taking note of this now will be very important for later in identifying patterns in harmonic frequency resonance. So what is it? Simply put, by using the Trinity, we sequence each number in patterns of 3 repeating numbers. This is where the concept of angel numbers comes from. The 10 harmonic resonance frequencies are 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, 6, 7, 7, 7, 8, 8, 8, and 9, 9, 9, in accordance with the rule of the triad or trinity. Now let us bring into focus the 4 basic mathematical functions, plus, minus, multiply, and divide, to see what they represent in harmonic frequency resonance. Plus is the function or expression of building or sequencing. Minus represents elimination or canceling. Multiply represents exponential growth and is the language of the macrocosm, while division represents fragmentation or fractalization and is the language of the microcosm. So let us begin with 0, 0, 0 to use mathematical terms to show exactly what is the ineffable all. No matter what function we apply to this sequence, we will always end up with 0. It may not seem like much, but it means a lot in the grand scheme of things if I remind you again that 0 is the container for the 9 wholes. Now we arrive at the 3 pillars, 1, 1, 1, and the number 1 can be understood as unity. It maintains a level of immutability like 0, in the sense that only plus and minus work on it, not multiply and/or divide. Now, as we try to bring structure to the 4 basic mathematical functions, we can immediately see that they represent 4 points on a cross, where plus is up, north, minus is down, south, multiply is left, west, or also the clockwise movement and divide is right, east, or the counterclockwise movement. By establishing this structure, we'll help you to build wave functions using harmonic frequency resonance later, where waves are not 2-dimensional curved lines, but 3-dimensional spirals. So back to the number 1, we can then see the 1 represents 2 dimensions, up, down, and/or forward, backward on a straight line. 0 represents the circle or 1 dimension, where there is either clockwise or counterclockwise movement. By adding these 3 dimensions together, from 0 to 1, we establish the structure of 3-dimensional space, as prescribed in the cross foundation. The linear movement of time can be seen as the 4th dimension, where 0 always acts as constant present moment at any given time. Due to our earlier observation of plus and minus only working on 1, we can use this pattern to separate the 4 mathematical functions into 2 layers, where the first layer consists of plus and minus, and the second layer consists of multiply and divide. I will show you why that is important later, as it will help to make things a lot less confusing to keep track of as we progress in this video. Now when we apply the first layer to all the harmonic frequencies, what patterns do we see? When applying plus, we get a repeating pattern of 3, 6, and 9 repeating 3 times. Therefore, we get 3 layers consisting of 3, 6, and 9. It is also worthy to note that the numbers 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8 have been effectively eliminated, and these numbers show up later in the 777 harmonic resonance as the serpent code, arranged in such a way that it emulates immortality or indestructibility, but it is not true immortality like the 0, for it lacks the soul spark of the 3, 6, and 9 sequence. Therefore, it lacks all forms of positivity. When applying minus to the harmonic resonance sequence, we end up with the negative equivalence of the numbers 1 to 9. Therefore, we can say that negative numbers are ghost numbers, or numbers that carry an inherent elimination potential if a positive or natural number were to be introduced. Now when we apply multiply to the harmonic sequence, we are basically cubing each digit. And here we see the numerical pattern 1, 8, and 9 repeating 3 times. Some things that are noteworthy and key to solving the serpent code puzzle: the numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 have been eliminated. 1 plus 8 is 9, and another 9 is 18, which is simplified using numerology to be 9. Therefore, the function of multiply implies the maximum potential of 9 at all times. Notice how unity, 1, and the divine number 8 exist in this matrix with 9, but 9 remains as the totality of the system of multiply. Also note that 9 is the square of 3, whereas 18 is the cube of 3. Therefore, 9 is the maximum potential of the square or cube. Now, can you understand better that multiply is the language of the macrocosm? If it implies infinite largeness or infinite wholeness, then divide is the opposite, implying infinite smallness. The divide symbol is a dead giveaway if we were to analyze it more closely. When we look at the 2 dots or singularities on either side of a straight line, it is commemorative of the saying, as above, so below, where this can be further understood as looking into a mirror, represented by the straight line, even though the reflection is only on the surface of the mirror, because it also emulates depth. It gives the illusion that the reflection is on the other side of the mirror. So how can we begin to see infinite smallness using divide? What we should take note of is the 3, 3, 3, 6, 6, 6, and 9, 9, 9 harmonic frequency levels where it occurs. At the first level, we get 0. 3 to infinity, the second level is 0. 16 Sersky 6 to infinity, and the last level is 0. 1 to infinity. What we need to understand clearly when applied divide to the harmonic frequency sequences is that ultimately we are dividing unity 1 by the numbers 2 to 9, since the first 2 numbers will always cancel each other out into 1. Now, we arrive at the serpent's code embedded on the 777 harmonic frequency, and that number is 0. 1422857 repeating in that same sequence forever. And here are the missing numbers from the 3, 6, and 9 matrix, arranged in such a way that it presents to 1 a near unsolvable puzzle, since it has within it infinite potential. The puzzle is simply, how do we accurately resolve this number to 0 without approximation? I will go into that in an upcoming video, for to describe the process here will take too much time. For now, I will let you absorb all the data presented to help you get a good grasp on what exactly is harmonic frequency resonance and how it works, as I shall also be using it to describe dimensions or densities. Until we meet again, stay safe and stay blessed.